Good evening, and thank you for joining us today. I am Sarah Tegender, National Sales Manager with nutraMetrix Custom Health Solutions. I am out of Boston, Massachusetts, and I support the field both with training, education, and sales support. And I am excited to introduce to you nutraMetrix Custom Health Solutions. This is our October 2016 live webinar that we do once a month, and it's going to just give you a little bit of an introduction to what's going on today in healthcare, which I know all too well. I'm growing up in a household with a health professional, so I'll talk a little bit about what's happening out there in the news, and then just relate some of my personal experience as well as what I've been seeing in the field for the past 10 years working in the healthcare industry. And then we'll talk a little bit about some of the solutions that nutraMetrix provides with both products and services, and compensation in the form of retail profit, and some ongoing commissions to health professionals. If you stick around to the end, we're going to do a spotlight interview with Brandi Murphy, our Director of Sales and Training. So what is nutraMetrix? Well, it's a complete suite of customized, cutting-edge solutions. That's really important as personalized and lifestyle medicine gains continued momentum at the end of 2016 and into 2017. We have a wide variety of products and services, and I'll talk a little bit about the advantages that we have with nutraMetrix in the way that we provide these that better serve patients, but also we keep the practice in mind, as income unfortunately continues to be a concern for the private practitioner. There's relevant information and training because, these things are always changing. And not to get political here, but as we're in an election year, we know that healthcare is very much a looked at topic right now and hot in the news. And so we think that we have just one piece of the puzzle that could play a big part in the changing paradigm that we're seeing. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. I don't know if last time you went to the pharmacy, rising drug costs are making a lot of changes for patients, which is in turn affecting the practitioners. I have a friend of mine who owns a pain management clinic, and her overhead alone is $8,000 a month just for her space. That's just rent and overhead. It's astronomical, the cost that it has to run a brick and mortar business today, whether it's in the medical field or otherwise. Shrinking insurance reimbursements. This has been such a problem for so many years and continues to get worse, where insurance companies just are not paying physicians for their time that they're spending for their patients. And so physicians are looking to other ways to help and reduce, some of that overhead that they have. And again, changing regulations and reform initiatives. So we'll see if 2017 is going to make things any easier, but my prediction is with increased legislation comes, just an increased set of issues and problems and changes that we need to overcome within the industry. And, you can look at the news and it's right there in front of you. Let's look at some recent articles. At the beginning of 2015, Forbes was talking about Medicaid and the cuts that were having an impact on the family physicians, and particularly those who increased the number of Medicaid beneficiaries. There was a Medicare payment, which was nearly half of the respondents. And then what happened later on in that same year, 2015, was the end of Medicare bonuses. So that was gone. That was taken away, and it could mean a pay cut of $17,000 per practitioner on average. This was a big change that hit in 2015 for a lot of health professionals, and they had to rework their business plans. We saw the Post-Gazette report in 2016, changes with then our private insurance companies. United Healthcare, the biggest health insurer in the country by membership, was considering exiting the health law's individual marketplace. We're seeing this across the board, across the country, this is happening. And so practitioners are looking for alternatives. And when nutraMetrix comes into the realm of possibilities for a health professional, a lot of times it's because they're already looking for something, and we are the right solution at the right time. There is a company called Medscape that puts together surveys of health professionals and what's going on in the industry. And every year we look at this, and the numbers only seem to go up when we look at practices offering ancillary services. And looking in primary care, which is typically pretty conservative, we're seeing 2/3 of the family physicians providing ancillary services. I mean, you can see the list here on the right with orthopedics, anesthesiology, gastroenterology. But let's just look at, your typical PCP, family physician, internist. What are they doing? Well, they're doing things that nutraMetrix, as I'll talk about in a minute, that we provide, like weight loss services, in-office diagnostic tests, nutrition counseling, some cosmetic services. And they can earn as much as 15% or more from these ancillary services as they come in. On the flip side, let's talk about what the patients are doing in the industry. Well, the patients are being really proactive about their own health. There is this thing called the World Wide Web now, where everyone feels like they can diagnose and go to a Facebook group or go to a forum and find out some information. And in turn, that's driving people to continue to participate in the supplement industry, with $40 billion spent on supplementation annually and twice as much on weight loss. This is important as we are right now in October, thinking towards the start of 2017 and people's New Year's resolutions, which weight loss continues to be the number one resolution that's made. 8 out of 10 Americans have confidence in dietary supplements, but they would prefer their doctors and dietitians to make these recommendations. And some of them are making these recommendations, and some of them right now have yet to integrate that into part of their traditional medical practice. And that's where we can come in with some education and some systems for them to be able to service their patients. Because the patients don't always know, is the average consumer educated in science-based nutritional support? It can be confusing. I mean, the popular brands have really great labels on the front, but when we turn the box around and we look at the actual ingredients and labels, we have things in there that I know I would not give my family. I have a 3-year-old, and I'm really careful about her diet. I know when we speak to Brandi Murphy in a few minutes, she feels the same way about her family. And that's just our commitment to our kids, where we're looking at things like artificial chemical dyes. We're looking at preservatives. We're looking at those bulk fillers like talc, starch, hydrogenated oil. If we look at just one of the most popular brands, we're looking at Centrum Silver. This is a multivitamin for adults over 50 plus. Hydrogenated palm oil. That's not something that I would put in my diet on a daily basis. Talc, all these dyes, cornstarch. And let's look at our children's vitamins, which I don't think are any better. Right here we have one of the top ingredients being sugar, artificial flavoring, some more dyes. This was just recently reformulated just a few years ago to take aspartame out of a Flintstone vitamin. So Bayer Pharmaceuticals being a little bit behind in the trends, as consumers are getting more savvy, as well as health professionals, to be able to look at labels and to say, is this really something that is safe, first of all, and effective? Are we talking about ingredients in therapeutic dosing? And so nutraMetrix, we think that we're at the right place at the right time, because we have the system to be able to help health professionals create additional revenue. So that is going towards these rising costs, increased reforms, declining reimbursements. But at the same time, they can provide wellness-based products and services that patients are asking for. It is a division of a much larger company. The parent company has been around since 1992. It's a Better Business Bureau 2013 Torch Award winner with an A+ rating, headquartered in Greensboro, North Carolina. And our mission here is that we believe that patients should have access to recommendations for healthy living and products that promote optimal wellness from their trusted health professional. Everything that we do is focused on helping health professionals implement customized wellness programs that benefit the patients and the practice. And by providing health professionals with science-based nutritional interventions, revolutionary technology, wellness-based education systems, and trained implementation consultants, nutraMetrix is changing the face of healthcare, one health professional and one patient at a time. It's a $40 million industry that was created in 2004, like I said, part of a bigger company, but we're attracting more and more health professionals to our brands. And every single year, our sales just continue to increase, and we've had a really exciting 2016 so far as we continue it out in the fourth quarter. One of the advantages is that we're a product brokerage company. So what this means is just like when you walk into a Target or a Walmart or a CVS, we're identifying the latest market-driven products from the best manufacturers in multiple industries. This is really high end because we know our health professionals, though, are not looking for consumer level products. They're looking for things with the same integrity, quality as they look towards the pharmaceutical industry. Providing comprehensive and synergistic formulas based on research. It's always science-based, and they're formulated by the experts in the industry. Our commitment to quality has always astounded me by just how well we do this. In our distribution center, specifications are set for raw materials. They're all sourced with certificates of analysis, and then they're audited for GMP compliance and then inspected again at our warehouse for damage, labor, accuracy, appearance, taste, and odor, and nothing goes out without multiple checks and balances. And that is just a really great high commitment. If you ever have the opportunity, it is a lot of fun to be able to go and see our warehouse and distribution center, and you can go see exactly where that happens and talk to the team that's responsible for it. But our health professionals being a part of our nutraMetrix association also will have access to our product support if they ever have a question about any of our products, which I think is also a great advantage. Health professionals are attracted to our brand because of our isotonic capable nutrition. So this is really our flagship with nutraMetrix. It's a delivery system that is superior with exceptional quality control measures and synergistic formulas. Because this is powders and crystals, we are able to make really fun, comprehensive, synergistic formulations. And you can see we have a wide variety of products available in our isotonic capable nutrition line. Health professionals love it because better delivery means better results and better compliance. And the patient likes it because it's easy to take, great taste, results they can feel when taken correctly. This product, it's a powder. We reconstitute it in water, and at the appropriate ratios, it'll just empty the stomach at a rapid rate, go right into the small intestine, and that is where the delivery system occurs. And they're customizable. So we can take these and put them into custom formulas for either the patient or the practice. And a lot of companies have started this. I remember maybe about 15 years ago when you could design your own Nikes on Nike.com and put your name on it. And I think we're just continuing to see this trend of things that are personalized. I just saw a friend of mine who had a baby shower and she was showing all the gifts, and I would say 2/3 of the presents had a personalized monogram on them that she had received. And this is just a really big trend. Everyone wants things that are made just for them. And I don't think that the supplementation industry is any different. And so we're right there on trend with our custom cocktails. But it makes it so convenient for the patient. They have one canister with their name on it and auto ship for really easy refills. Another one of our flagship products and brands is our GeneSnip DNA analysis. This is a nutrigenomic analysis with 48 genetic variations that it tests for. We also have paired this with a comprehensive health practitioner guide and health action plan to support the individual's metabolic and fitness needs. 22 of our 48 genes are geared towards obesity, but it goes beyond obesity to things like insulin resistance. There's a metabolic panel, some exercise recommendations. And so the health professional, they have a knowledge of nutritional requirements, but this can be used with their genotype to create a customized wellness plan, taking the guesswork out of it. And patients, because it's laser approach, they're often going to be much more compliant with the recommendations. TLS Weight Loss Solution and TLS Select is a weight management program that will address the immediate needs of patients. Again, right on trend as we're entering 2017. People are making some weight loss resolutions, but we can take this all the way up to a clinically supervised weight loss program, or something as simple as a do-it-yourself 21-day challenge. So wherever the needs are for both the patient and the practitioner, we can create a system and a solution for you. The best part, I think, is our nutraMetrix consultant support. This is an NC who will do an assessment and proposal, a customized implementation plan, staff training, and ongoing support. It's always personalized and has your best interest in mind as the practitioner. And we'll make some convenient solutions for the patients that are available right at their practitioner's office. Online shopping continues to be a trend, especially in the supplementation market. And so we'll provide an online patient portal with nutrametrix.com/your practice name, where you can be open for your patients 24/7 with nutritional blogs, education support, and online shopping convenience. It's really easy to search and navigate, and this is where your customers can even set themselves up for auto ship. This will leverage the technology to make a simple implementation system within your office where patients can reorder online, and will eliminate some of the burdens of heavy inventorying. Lots of marketing material are available, whether it's wellness catalogs, patient handouts, posters, displays, or seminars, just to make your patients aware that wellness is on your radar. This helps them bring up wellness into a conversation in your office, which again just makes implementation so much easier as you kick off your wellness program. So how's this going to work? What happens first? Well, your nutraMetrix consultant who invited you on this webinar is going to do what we call a discovery meeting. It's about 15 minutes to assess the practice needs. They'll then submit to you and customized proposal. You'll sit down together and evaluate the proposal and make some adjustments. The consultant will then support implementation, training, whatever staff you have in practice to meet your goals. And there's 3 ways to earn income. One of them is you can earn cash back, online purchases. We know that rebates and rewards are really hot. This is what keeps patients and customers going back and incentivized to stay loyal to their brands. So we have that with nutrametrix.com, and you can do that as well from your own website. The second way is to earn retail profits. You're going to start with a simple implementation and earn anywhere from 30 to 50% in gross retail profit. And the third way is with ongoing income. There's commissions that are volume-based, and you can earn anywhere from $300 to $3,600 in commissions per week, per business, based on your product sales. Let's do a sample retail model for the health professional. So let's say the practice has 5,000 patients. And we used to survey our offices, but now we know that the vast majority want wellness-based alternatives. We always stay very conservative with implementation, saying in the first year, if we could do 10% of the patient base for an implementation goal, that would put 500 patients on a protocol. So it's about 2.5 patients a day to a wellness protocol based on an average working year. Let's say we're talking about our daily essential packets, which is our top-selling product, really convenient to take with a multivitamin B complex, calcium, and OPC3, which is an antioxidant. This is a 30-day supply. The health professional cost $55 with a suggested retail of $77. So the profit margin on that is $22 per box per month per patient. So you can see, as we get started, the first 25 patients, that's going to be an extra $550 in profit to the practice. And as this increases over the year, until we have 500 patients, 10% of the practice ordering on a monthly basis, at just 10% implementation, that could be an extra $11,000 coming into the practice. If we look at a more comprehensive custom cocktail formula, with a multivitamin B complex, calcium, vitamin D, and OPC3, our flagship antioxidant. This is the health professional cost at $93.35 with a suggested retail of $123.02, bringing the retail profit to just under $30. We'll look at that same, increase at a 10% implementation with 500 patients. It's an extra $14,835 coming into the practice on a monthly basis. There's additional income available through volume-based commissions. We are earning commissions or royalties based on the business volume of the product sold. So just like frequent flyer miles or any sort of rewards with your credit card system, every product is going to have a point system associated with it. So that daily essential packets, which at the health professional cost are $55, are generating 35 business volume points. So if we look at those same 500 patients, we're adding 17,500 business volume points a month. Well, what does that equate into? It equates into an additional $31,500 on an annualized basis into the practice just in commission, volume-based commissions. So the total annual earnings, if you were to implement this one product at 10% in a 5,000 patient practice, would bring into the practice $163,500, again, on an annual basis. Knowing that it's going to take some time, for the first week and a couple patients, and after the first month and the first quarter, and that's what your nutraMetrix consultant is there for, to monitor, adjust, and hit your goals and needs. When we look at this more comprehensive custom cocktail, if that's something you are interested in, doing things a little bit more personalized for your patients, the business volume points on a $93 product is about 64.55 business volume points, generating 32,275 business volume a month at 500 patients, adding an additional $57,900 into the practice on an annual basis. So when you combine that with the retail profit, we're talking about total annualized earnings on just this one cocktail of $235,920. I was speaking to a nurse practitioner that I'm working with who has been now in practice on her own for, she's a newer business, I think it's been about 3 years. Though there were 6 figures of still student debt from going to nurse practitioner school. And that's putting a big burden on her practice. And this is what she's looking at to be able to subsidize and add some income into the practice so she's able to keep her doors open. We have 3 account types that best support the way that you would like to do implementation. The first is our introductory account. This is the way most of our health professionals get started. It's simple and easy. You can upgrade to a health professional at any time. This is focused on the success of your own practice in a retail model. Our next is our health professional with full access who want to leverage within their referral network. And then for anyone who's a non-health professional, we encourage you to look at our nutraMetrix consultant program. You'll have full access, an advanced account. And this is for individuals like myself who want to work with health professionals and leverage our solution with referral network. But what does an HP1 account look like? Well, the health professional will have 3 business development centers to start with. It's just a spot in our computer system, and this is where we're going to automatically track your business volume, and all orders, whether from inventory or your website, are going to be credited. And when you hit certain benchmarks, you'll hit commission checks. So when you hit 1,200 business volume on the left and 1,200 business volume on the right, we'll issue you a $300 check. And business volume just continues to accrue. The next benchmark is 2,400 BV on the left and 2,400 BV on the right. And you can see there are 1,200 business volume increments on each side, which will produce a $300 check. Now, what if you did 2,400 on the left and 2,400 on the right in 1 week? Well, you would earn on both of those benchmarks. So the company, that week would issue you a $600 commission check. Our last benchmark is a little bit higher. It's a 1,400 BV increase, which finishes out the cycle at 5,000 BV on the left and 5,000 BV on the right, but the commission check doubles for $600. So the weekly potential, if you're generating 5,000 BV on the left and 5,000 BV on the right, is $1,500 a week for the HP1 account option. If you'd like additional revenue for groups or referrals to leverage your network or benefit multiple health professionals in one practice, a big group, a hospital setting, something like that, the system will track purchases and sales made by you as well as orders from your patients, but you'll also receive 100% credit from all volume within your organization. And so, same thing, you will have an account, but so will some friends and people in your referral network. And as they have patients that order through their inventory and online nutraMetrix.com sales, that will also be credited towards you in the same commission structure I just went over. And so $1,500 in weekly potential. But now we're talking about not just your own efforts and focus sales, but also those from your referral network. So this might happen a little bit faster than just based on your own efforts. Why do we have an advanced account option? Well, it could provide some more income through a shared revenue stream through outside referrals, can also provide ongoing income even after a practice is closed, and provides a commission system for large physician groups or health networks. There's an opportunity for both the individual health professional and the group at the same time. And so you'll just refer to other professionals who need wellness for patients or revenue for their practice or nutraMetrix consultants who can support implementation. Not much different than probably the current referral network you have for other outside services that you yourself don't currently offer. You'll receive 100% credit for all sales volume generated by your referred partners. Staff members are encouraged to help to support the success of the practice, and they can become certified as TLS weight loss consultants. Our compensation system can provide income to the staff at no cost to you. And some who fit as outside nutraMetrix consultants can absolutely come to one of our consultant trainings to help support referral development outside the practice. So whether we're talking about a health professional executive account or nutraMetrix consultant account, there is a significant income potential. And there's some additional requirements with trainings and monthly requirements. And we encourage you to support nutraMetrix consultants to develop additional locations or referrals as more discoveries and implementation meetings will need to occur. And these consultants can help partner to provide business development support, and that is encouraged. And the only difference here within compensation is that you also have the ability to earn a $600 management bonus. So that's $2,100 a week that you can earn on these accounts with the annual earning potential of $109,000 a year. Do encourage you to talk to whoever invited you to this webinar to go over the full business model for these two account options. But just know that your income is not limited. You can activate an additional business development centers. And again, check out the full compensation plan for further details. But each one has the ability to earn $2,100 a week. So if you built just 3 of them, we're talking about an earning potential of $327,000 a year. So here's a summary of the different accounts. HP1 is where most of our health professionals are starting today with a simple retail model. Our health professionals start at $159.95 for both of the accounts. We never have any minimum orders, but we do have a management system called UFMS that is $20 a month. The income for HP1 is $78,000 a year, but for HP Executive and nutraMetrix consultants, it's $109 per year, but there's no limit on the amount of businesses you can have. HP1s cannot consult to set up accounts, but executives and nutraMetrix consultants can. HP1s just have the $20 a month and an annual renewal, but there's additional requirements for the HP Executive and nutraMetrix consultant in both monthly and annually and training requirements. There's no accounts required to earn commission for our HP1 retail model. But for HP Executives and nutraMetrix consultants, it's 2 accounts that are required in order for commissions to be earned. So what do I encourage you to do next? And that's to schedule an initial discovery meeting with your nutraMetrix consultant if you haven't done so already. And let's determine the best ways to customize to meet the needs of your patients in practice. with products and services. And then get started. Open your account. You'll receive for $159.95 the introductory nutraMetrix account, a website, support materials. This will renew at $129 annually. And the $20 UFMS management system is the monthly subscription fee. There's back office management, training tools, downloads, marketing materials, some clinical guides, access to product support, and some private Facebook groups for you to be able to interact with your peers and ask some questions. Then start going with staff implementation, train some key staff members, and measure ongoing progress to make adjustments for both patients and the practice. I will, at the end of this, let Brandi Murphy tell you about some of our ongoing training opportunities that we have upcoming in 2017, but we're here to support you every step of the way. So get those questions answered. I encourage you to try some product. I know that is how I started. That's how I typically will work with whoever I am referred to or work with to say, just try this for yourself and see what you think about that. That's a really easy way to see if it's something that you think you're comfortable with to offer to your patient base. And then have your nutraMetrix consultant customize a proposal to evaluate and see if nutraMetrix is a fit for you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Brandi Murphy, our Director of nutraMetrix Training and Sales. She's been with the parent company as an unfranchised owner for 13 years, started working with corporate in 2007, certified in both nutraMetrix and as a TLS coach. We love her background with psychobiology and education. She brings such a great insight into just everything that she does with training and implementation. So Brandi, welcome.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Happy to be here tonight. Thank you.
We actually are together live in person. This never happens.
We have one of our trainings starting tomorrow morning. We're out in San Diego, California, getting ready to conduct a nutraMetrix consultant training this weekend. So it worked out perfect that we could do this together tonight. Thank you again for having me.
No problem. Brandi, tell me just what you think. Let's start on the health professional side, because I know this is really what tonight's webinar was geared towards. Why do you think 2017 is going to be an important year for health professionals to evaluate some outside opportunities?
Well, you gave an overview of it during the presentation when you were talking about the fact that the economy of healthcare has changed, and health professionals are definitely seeing changes in the way that they're getting paid, and many of them are looking for outside sources of income. But they're also seeing, as you mentioned, because of tools like the Google and the way that patients tend to self-diagnose and look for information online, the patients just have access to more information than they've ever had before. In addition to having access online to information that they never really had access to, you're hearing more and more patients ask questions about, well, what can I do to protect my health more naturally? Maybe they don't want to take medications because they've heard about some of the side effects. Maybe they have heard some studies about the benefits of nutraceuticals, and they're going to their practitioners now, and the patients are already asking the practitioners for advice on nutritionals, that they're asking for advice on weight loss. And oftentimes what we find is many of the practitioners have not had a lot of training in the field of nutrition. Now, we work with health professionals of all types, ranging from traditionally trained MDs to nutritionists, dietitians, naturopaths, and depending on their background or their schooling, some of them do have quite a diverse background in the area of nutrition. Some of them are really starting from scratch, learning about how to implement nutraceuticals into their practice. Some of them have been implementing with nutraceuticals for years. But what they're finding is patients are really asking them more today than ever before. And as insurance companies are starting to reward both the practitioners and the patients for promoting wellness, right? You're seeing more and more insurance benefits about wellness benefits and wellness cares. The insurance companies know that patients that are proactive about their health cost less to manage in the long run. Their overall healthcare costs go down. So when you have the practitioner having patients coming to them saying, what can I take to help me sleep better? What can I take to lose weight? Or what should I be eating to lose weight? Right now, there's a lot of practitioners that don't have answers for them. And so we can show them how to provide those answers that the patients are asking for. Another thing about it is sometimes you do have practitioners who are already recommending supplements to their patients. They're saying you definitely need to take a vitamin D. Maybe the patient's vitamin D levels showed up low on their blood tests, or they were suboptimal. Well, if the practitioner right now is saying, go get a vitamin D, the patient doesn't know what's a good vitamin D versus what's not. Many times they make their decision based on price or pretty packaging. And so we can provide a good quality product in the office so the practitioner knows, number one, are they complying with the advice? Because if they're not reordering it, they're probably not complying. And are they getting a product that has the appropriate dosing, the appropriate amount of the nutritional to make a difference?
You bring that up, and it makes me think of my own experience having my daughter 3 years ago, and that first initial checkup, and my pediatrician saying Ella should be on a vitamin D. And I said, well, which one? And she was like, just go and whatever one is at the drugstore. And so I immediately texted my three most natural, earthy, crunchy girlfriends and said, what are you using? And took a survey. And now there's a plethora of Facebook groups, but everyone has sometimes an outside interest in mind. And some of the moms groups I'm part of, they're just saying their practitioners are telling them, oh, just take a Flintstone chewable while they're pregnant. Or no, your child doesn't need vitamin D despite what your practitioner might be saying. And it's interesting where we weigh that information. It actually took me more time to get the product for my daughter because I had this, indecisiveness about where to go and where to turn. And I was like, can I just walk out with one? Do you have a sample? Is there something you could give me?
The patients want the advice from their healthcare professional. They don't want to just hear you need a vitamin D. They want to know, how much should I take? When should I take it? Which brand should I use? One of the cardiologists I work with, he has a great analogy about this. He says, I would never say to a patient, you need a blood pressure medication, go find one, right? And so he uses the example of, if I'm going to give them a specific brand of a pharmaceutical and the appropriate dosing to get the result that we want, I'm going to do the same thing with the nutraceutical. The other thing about that is if the practitioner right now is just saying, go get a vitamin D and letting the patient walk out the door and go to, GNC or Vitamin World or Costco or Walmart, wherever they go to buy their products now, there's so many different confusing products on the shelf. And if we're talking about vitamin D, some of the vitamin D on the market might have 100 IU. Some of them might have 5,000. Some of them might have 10,000. So the patient's confused standing there. The person in the store doesn't know anything about that patient's medical history or health goals. And if the patient buys from that from that store, that doesn't help the practitioner at all that's looking for revenue. So by making a recommendation and sending the patient outside of the practice to get it, they're kind of leaving the patient in a lurch as to what should they be taking or how much, but they're also leaving money on the table because that could be providing revenue to the practice that could help them do other things. And let me give you an example of that. Sometimes some of the practitioners will say, well, I really am more concerned about improved patient outcomes than I am revenue. And a lot of what we talk about is revenue based. Well, one of the things we really want to be able to help health professionals do is accomplish whatever their vision and mission for their practice is. So, for example, there's a chiropractor that we work with, and he had a pretty lofty goal of becoming an international brand. And in order to do that, he needed a marketing department. But he didn't know where he was going to come up with the money to hire the marketing people to help him promote his practice and promote his brand. So his first year carrying the nutraMetrix product line in his practice, even though he had carried other product lines before, his first year he generated over $100,000 of revenue for his practice. Well, that right there, he invested back into the practice, hired the marketing person. The marketing person not only helped him with his nutraMetrix implementation, but helped him market his brand and the seminars that he was doing for himself. So the revenue that was created by nutraMetrix helped him create exactly what he was looking for out of his practice. That's what we want to do. We want to help support the patient goals, but we also want to be able to support the practice goals.
A friend of mine had the ability, she's a part-time and she's not open 5 days a week. She sees patients about 3 days a week. And with nutraMetrix was able to bring on board a medical assistant. So, I think whether it's a small goal of something that simple to an international brand, we're here to support them. But okay, so now I'm on this call and I have a network of health professionals. And so why is 2017 the right time for me to look to nutraMetrix to work with health professionals?
As in a nutraMetrix
yes,
consultant?
As a consultant, a non-health professional.
Well, what we're seeing is a paradigm shift where practitioners that we maybe approached with nutraMetrix 10, 12 years ago when we started in 2004, they weren't ready for us yet. Maybe they hadn't recognized all of the requests that they were getting from their patients, or they felt they just didn't have the knowledge to be able to introduce nutraceuticals to their patients. Well, more and more of their patients are asking them about products, and now they're recognizing that also with the economy changing, more and more health professionals are coming to us and saying, I want to do this. And our problem is we don't have enough people to help them, right? We have an army of health professionals that are looking for change, and we need the people to support them. We need the people that can go out and help implement the program in the practice. So we need nutraMetrix consultants. And I know for me, one of the most rewarding parts about being a nutraMetrix consultant, because I'm a nutraMetrix consultant myself, and I go out and help and, as you know, implement in practices, is being able to make a positive impact in healthcare. I'm very passionate about sharing health and wellness information with others. And as an individual, I can only work with so many people myself, right? If I'm out trying to educate individual people on our products and introduce products to families, for example, I only have a certain number of time in my day. But if I can partner with health professionals in my community, then that greatly expands my reach. And because of the way that our commission structure is set up, we're not in competition with each other. We're working together and supporting each other and creating a wellness movement in our community that we can be proud of. Because if we can bring on a health professional account, for example, that has 5,000 patients, like the one you mentioned, or one with 10,000 patients, just imagine that if one nutraMetrix consultant can bring on 2 or 3 of those practices, and we get more of those nutraMetrix consultants around, the more nutraMetrix consultants we have, the more health professionals we can support, and we can really help to change healthcare at the grassroots level in our country. We hear all the time about healthcare reform. Usually what they're talking about is insurance reform. That's not what we're talking about with nutraMetrix. We're talking about fundamentally changing the way that people view food, the way that they view stress, the way they view sleep, the way that they view healthy lifestyles. And we want to be able to help our health professionals embrace that with their patients, so we really can transition to almost a lifestyle medicine type practice and get families healthy again. You get a mom understanding how to feed her family, you've now changed generations. And that's something to be really excited about. And then there's the financial reward of it too. So you have both the intrinsic and the extrinsic motivation for working with nutraMetrix.
Mm-hmm. So what can people do? I mean, I have now our training schedule and slides up. So talk to us a little bit about what does the nutraMetrix consultant training provide? And then on the flip side, what sort of support and training do we have for our health professionals?
Okay, great. So let's start with nutraMetrix consultant training. Our nutraMetrix consultant training is a 3-day course where we teach unfranchised owners how to go out and work with health professionals. We teach everything from we really focus on helping people understand why nutrition is important to begin with. So we start off on Friday by talking about why people need supplementation and how our food supply has changed. And many people don't know what healthy eating looks like. So we need to have a way to educate people on how to eat healthfully and also how to supplement, because they're just not getting what they need from their diet alone. Many people are eating from boxes and processed food. So we want to talk about why people need a supplement. And then we need to talk about why practitioners should be the ones offering supplementation. So it's not just some health food store clerk who doesn't know that patient's medical needs or history making the recommendations for them. So we go into why health professionals should consider offering supplementation. Then we also talk about why certain nutrients are essential in the supplementation process. So we go through the fact that if your body can't make certain nutrients, you need to get them through diet. So we really spend a lot of time talking about why supplementation. And then we talk about how to approach a health professional to get them consider offering supplementation in their practice. How do you do the discovery meeting? How do you put together a proposal? What do you share with the practitioner during the proposal? And how do you create the proposal to match what the practitioner wants to do in their practice? This isn't about going in and dropping some turnkey system into a practice. It's about finding out what's going to fit perfectly for that practice and that practitioner, and then helping to implement to support their goals. So we teach that on day 2 of the NC training. We also go through and talk in more detail about the GeneSNP DNA analysis that you were talking about, and our TLS weight loss program and how it can be customized for a medical practice or a health professional practice to offer a customizable weight management program to their patients. And then we talk about how to create the implementation strategy and train the staff. So by the time a nutraMetrix consultant has gone through the full 3 days, they've really gotten a wealth of information about how to build a business by promoting health awareness in their community by working with health professionals. The cost of that course is $395. We offer 4 of them in 2017. The first one is going to be in March in Niagara Falls, New York. Then we will move to Scottsdale, Arizona in May. We will be right outside of Chicago in June, and we will be in Tyson's Corner, Virginia in September. So those are the 4 nutraMetrix consultant training dates that we have. We also offer one health professional product and implementation training, which will be the same weekend as we are in the Niagara Falls area for NC. In March, we will offer one of our health professional product and implementation trainings. This course is $295 for the health professional, and I'm sorry, it's $300 for the health professional, $395 for the health professional as well. That is also a 3-day course in 2017, and that is going to be product information, clinical usage. Only health professionals can attend that, and it is taught by Dr. Deidre Mason, our Director of Clinical Research and Education. She also is a naturopath herself. She's been using nutraceuticals in practice for more than 15 years, and she brings in clinical faculty members that share their clinical experience. My favorite part about our health professional product and implementation training is that it's very interactive. And so the attendees of the course also share their experience in using nutraceuticals in their practice. And you get a lot of dialogue. And what I find, having sat in on some of those trainings, is you will have an MD sitting with a chiropractor, sitting with a neurologist, sitting with a physical therapist, and they all share how they use products in a different way, and they all learn from each other and learn with each other. So it's a very powerful course where they discuss clinical usage in practice. They discuss case studies. They not only talk about the products, but they talk about how they implement them in terms of dosing and product recommendations for individual patients. So it's a very powerful course for the health professionals.
Great, great. So as we wrap up this evening's webinar, Brandi, are there any closing thoughts that you have for anyone? What should they do when they get off this webinar right away?
Well, we've covered a lot of information in a brief amount of time, and for many of them, it might be the first time that they've seen a business model like this. So we were talking to them about establishing a retail model in their practice. We also talked to them about commissions, and I'm sure they're going to have some questions. So the very first thing that I would recommend that they do is get back with the person that invited them on this webinar so they can get their questions answered. Schedule some time to sit down with them. Like you mentioned, if they have not already booked a discovery meeting, they should book the discovery meeting with their nutraMetrix consultant. If you are a potential nutraMetrix consultant on the call, get back with the person that invited you as well and ask your questions, get your questions answered. If you haven't tried product yet, get your hands on some of the products so you can try them. One of the things that's really rewarding to hear from our practitioners is many of them have used other product lines in their practice before, but it wasn't until they found the results that they got with our products, usually because the isotonic delivery system, that their patients really report noticeable differences. So even if you've tried other products in the past, and you've used other products in your practice in the past, please try our products so that you can see the difference in quality and the results that you may get. So those would be my tips. Get your questions answered, get back with your nutraMetrix consultant, and try some products.
Great, great. And then we do this the third Thursday of every month. You can send an email to webinars@nutrametrix.com for the schedule. We hope to see you in an upcoming training in 2017, either on the health professional or nutraMetrix consultant side. Again, my name is Sarah Tegendra, your national field consultant, wishing you a great evening, and I will see you soon.